That's not a good thing. But we're actually into the picks and bans, which is always a nice thing. So let's bring that up here. We are playing on the tournament realm, actually, today. Obviously, there are a couple of other tournaments going on there. I've heard the EU West having its problems today as well, for all you guys that wanted to play. But early bans and picks, it is Peculiar who do have the choice of, well, they get first ban, first pick, is what I was trying to say. And they've already gone and kicked out Cassidy and Karthus, and Janet Ash already banned by Gamed.
Yeah, so targeting bans, well, actually, I'd say targeting bans, they're more generic bans than anything. I guess Ash is kind of a targeted ban. Janna's been pretty generic lately, Cassidy and Karthus. It'd be interesting to see whether any of these players were watching the streams last night, because there's been a bit of a meta shift by Dignitas overnight.
Yeah, that's Soraka.
Playing Soraka mid, yeah, and obviously going with Lulu top lane as well, so sort of bringing the magic resist down. Obviously, the whole point of that is shred that magic resist, and the rest of the magic resist guys, magic damage guys will just rip them apart. So interesting meta shift that Dignitas have been thrown out of that. I knew they had something, they'd been planning something, so it'd be good to see whether any of these guys actually try that out. Shen and Ari, the last two bans. Shen sort of a standard ban lately, and Ari maybe targeted, didn't want to see Ari. Now, Ari we've actually seen top and mid for top lane quite regularly, actually, by Angush from Absolute Legends. But Karanis will pick Urgot straight away, so strong pick on that bottom lane. It's something we've seen overnight in the IPL4 as well. I'm sure everybody is watching this has been watching IPL4 as well, so it's pretty clear we can refer to that. But Entonswagen, what's he going to go with? We're going to see Leigh Sin. Leigh Sin wasn't banned, and there is Soraka. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a support one, though, this time. I don't think it's going to be in the mid Soraka. Have they had that much chance to practice it? I'm not too sure.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. And, you know, it was interesting to watch State of the League last night after.
Good God, you were up late, weren't you?
I was up late.
You've been out partying.
No, actually, I was drinking water since 12 o'clock.
Yeah, right.
I was a very, very good boy last night. But yeah, you know, Skara said, I wanted to play it on a big tournament because Riot need to know how broken Soraka is when she's in the mid. You just can't do anything about her. And that was his point with that one. But I'm not sure that we're going to see that one today. Hopefully these guys weren't up as late as me watching the game. Hopefully they had their rest and got themselves prepared for this one. But Leigh Sin obviously was the second one locked in there for games. Tariq and Shyvana also going to be locked in them. Shyvana obviously one of those regular picks these days as well. And it's interesting too because Shyvana, we didn't see her for like ever until Moscow 5 were like, what up, Shyvana's really good. And now she's always there, somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I know I've seen a bit of a discussion about that lately, whether it was the Moscow 5 meta or the Shyvana meta. And, you know, various people, various junglers were using Shyvana, but not to the extent that Moscow 5 used her. Obviously, you're going for those crazy counter jungling invades all over the shop, and the rest of the team sort of reacted to it. But Gamed have picked up a really strong team here. They've picked up Morgana, obviously was left open as well, and Graves down the bottom. So Graves Soraka is going to be a very hard lane to really stop farming, to keep them out of it. Leigh Sin potentially could be top lane or jungle. It could be anywhere really, and that's obviously giving Peculiar an immediate problem for it. And Morgana in the mid is very strong. You cannot stop Morgana farming. It's impossible. Just puts that pull down, just says, yeah, thanks, I'm just going to farm away. So Misfortune looks like going to be the counter. Misfortune Tariq, I'm not convinced on that one. I think Gamed have got a very good bottom lane. Warwick up top, that's not a bad choice by them. Could certainly change things. Actually, no, what am I on about? What is going on here? So where is Urgot going to be? Hang on a minute. Okay, so okay, they're sticking with it. So we're going to see something funky from Peculiar here as well. So someone somewhere is going to be a bit of a strange top. So it could be an Urgot top. It could be. I'm not too sure how this is going to work out. I would expect Shyvana to be the jungle. I would expect Warwick to be the top. Does this mean we're going to have Urgot or Misfortune in the middle? I would guess maybe an Urgot in the middle.
Yeah, I'd certainly guess that in there as well. I mean, we're going to be up against Morgana. Looks like last pick for Gamed is going to be Rammus. But I love these games where we don't quite know just by looking at the picks where everything's going to be set up, where it's going to be going. Are they going to go AP Misfortune? I don't think that's the best idea ever, to be quite honest with you. But really interested to see how Peculiar come out of this one. It is best of 3. Both games will be best of 3, so we should have a good day full of action, obviously, with the next one. And Bluntix drops out during Champion Select. So that's cool. And Carrion's just saying runes. So I guess he needs to change it. To be honest, I thought that they'd put some rule in there that you can't change your runes after the picks. But the admin is in there as well on the spectating, so he obviously has the rule book down and he knows what he's going with. And yeah, us noob commentators, Urgot is going to be mid. Yeah, we'll see that. But you know, we have to break things down for people out there. So you know, you can call us noobs. We're used to it by now, I think. Anyway, after so many years of commentating. Yeah, indeed. But you know, everyone's an expert. So there we go. Just ban pick fast, says Blunatics. Yeah, either way, I'm not sure it's going to make that much of a difference. But Peculiar is saying they are going to be ready to go with this one. And we should be able to start off game number 1. Don't forget, the second quarterfinal will be coming up. 6 p.m. is the actual supposed start time, to be honest. Whether we get there, whether that happens quite on time, I'm not 100% sure. But, you know, it should be at 6 p.m. Central European, I guess, summertime now, right? CEST for us. So picks coming in. Hopefully they don't take too much of a time about it. Okay, the last pick was Nocturne. I didn't write that down. That's what I was waiting for. But Deman, these picks coming in, some funky stuff, some peculiar stuff from Peculiar Gaming. What are your thoughts? Who's going to win it?
I think Gamed have actually made some really good picks here. I like what they've got. Urgot versus Morgana mid. I'm not convinced how that one's going to turn out well. Urgot's going to need some loving, I feel. I mean, he is strong, but he's against Morgana. Morgana is like one of the strongest farmers in the game. Can just sit there and AFK farm, so he's not really going to get a great deal from that. Although, granted, it may give him a chance to free farm, because Morgana inherently pushes lane quite strongly, which means Urgot could well be on his tower quite happily farming, which is something he could do quite easily. Warwick top lane versus... looking like Lee Sin, yeah, versus Lee Sin. That could be an interesting one. It really can depend on the players between these two. Blunatics I've seen quite a lot. Shimmy I've not seen a great deal of, so I'm not too sure how that one goes. So obviously that sort of lane is very much down to the player. It could be a godlike Lee Sin player, in which case he'll wipe the floor with Warwick, or it could be a godlike Warwick player, in which case he'll have it in control. Obviously we saw, who was it on Thursday night? Absolute Legends on Warwick Anguish, and everybody was like, oh my god, you know what, this amazing Anguish on Warwick, we're not seeing it. Because that's because he built the Frozen Heart to begin with, and then he said, right, we're having a team fight, and that's it. They just stomped it straight through. It's one of those characters that you could easily do that with. It could easily be, you know, he could go different ways with the Warwick builds. You just don't know how it's going to go for that one. Shyvana in the jungle obviously is very strong. Glucosa, of course, on Nocturne as well, could help out that bottom lane or mid lane, really. You could just see a Dark Bindings go out from Morgana, and suddenly Nocturne's going flying in there, and that could be a dead Urgot straight away. There's a lot of ganking possibilities from these teams, but I think Gamed have got a very strong lineup there. I like the fact they've got the Morgana, the Lee Sin, the Graves with the Soraka support. Nocturne, there's better junglers, I feel, but he definitely helps with the gank, so he's got to use that ganking ability that he's going to have to really push on. So I'm going to go with Gamed on this one, Joe.
Yeah, I like, you know, they've gone that kind of traditional setup, let's call it. And I think they've got very, very strong picks there. I'm just hoping that, you know, the admins actually have tested everything and started a game, because mine's not.
It was white. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Currently loading. But it seems to have finally got there, although one of them wasn't connected. There we go. Shimmy's going to go in. So let's give you a quick rundown on the teams, and you can see the PCs that we've got in the studio are pretty damn quick. So for Peculiar, Carrionus on Shyvana, Tabuno on Misfortune, Coralol on Taric, Attackman on Urgot, and Blunatics on Warwick. Over, oh wow, it was fast. For Gamed, Entensberg, EU #1 player, EU West #1 player, and there's the pause right from the start. On Graves, Glucosa on Nocturne, Grulum on Morgana, Sebastian on Soraka, and Shimmy on Lee Sin. So, you know, the information that I have pouring my way is not so forthcoming since the studio is, you know, over the other side, and everyone's focused on the live production. They don't care about me sitting here all on my own. So I'm not sure exactly, yeah, why we've got a pause. Whether they're just testing that for now, but we'll see. And also, thanks, by the way, for all the comments saying that I am definitely marriage material. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Oh, that's nice. Where's that suddenly coming from?
I don't know.
Nice. Well, it's good to know, isn't it, Joe? It's good to know. Maybe your girlfriend's watching. Maybe she's going to realise how lucky she is.
And Snow Blackmoth says, Joe wasn't in League of Legends since first day. Actually, you're wrong. Because I played the very first closed beta. I got an invite from someone at Riot very, very early on, and I didn't like the game. So I ignored it for about half a year, and then I came back, just like everyone else. So yeah, we've got a pause going on. Not sure why. Do we like chicken noodles? I'm partial to a bit of chicken noodle.
Chicken noodles are pretty good. I can go with chicken noodles.
Apparently, they have a screen bug. It's too small, is what Entensberg just said.
Something's gone funky with my map. I don't know what's going on with that. Well, hopefully it'll sort out when it unloads. My mini-map in the corner. It's all like split in half or something. It's like the IPL 4 overlay. It's gone all wrong.
It's broken. Apparently I have to tell Deman that everyone loves YouTube. Actually, I think Deman is actually in chat as well.
I am in chat, yeah, I can see it on the other screen.
Yeah, and by the way, guys, you know, I don't want to be that whole salesman thing, but if you do want to have 720p quality, then you can get yourself a subscription to ESL TV Premium. Actually, it works out pretty cheap if you end up paying for you know, a longer time. And also, if you do that, you also get the Intel Extreme Masters events and every event that we cover here on ESL TV in HD as well. So in the long run, it can actually be a little bit cheaper than you might imagine. So yeah, they seem to have a screen bug, which is why we're waiting.
How can you say I'm too old? Someone just said I'm too old for you. I prefer Rivington. Rivington's older than me. God damn it. And he's got grey hair. Oh, I love Rivington, actually. He's a really good caster.
Yeah, certainly. You know, actually really experienced casters, though, which I think a lot of people don't realise.
There's a couple of us that have been around for a lot of years, and he's one of them.
Yeah, now the whole world is shocked that Rivington is older than Deman.
Actually, I'm not 100% sure whether he is or not. I'd have to check, but he's been casting for 10 years, I know that. So he's got to be up around there.
And I'm still 24 and been casting for 8 years.
I know.
That's
because they plucked you out of school at 16, which sounds wrong.
I was poached. I was actually when back in the day when me and Deman used to cast together. First of all, with audio for Battlefield 1942.
Oh yeah.
I actually joined the company, kind of against their rules. You had to be 18, and I was only 16. Felt good.
Rebelling from the
and also
age.
our first event when. Yeah, basically we were sat in a ferry and teachers were pretty pissed that I wasn't at school.
Where are you? I'm going to Denmark on a ferry.
Yeah. Another question there coming in chat. Do we like plain cabbage sandwiches? Can't say I've ever tried a cabbage sandwich, actually.
That's got to be a bit weird, isn't it?
Cabbage.
You never know. Don't knock it till you try it, I guess.
It could be a good one.
Could be the same for many things, mind you, but...
So yeah, just waiting for something. We've got 25 minutes left on the pause, so you know we're not running out of time just yet.
Branston pickle. I do like Branston pickle, but it gives me chronic heartburn. that's
the
the side that I'm old.
You really like, but you just can't eat it anymore because you're too old. It makes you burn on the inside. Yeah, and those are the kind of things that I actually miss here in Germany, because if I want a jar of Branston pickle, I have to go into town to the English shop, and then they basically rob me for about €8 for a jar of Branston pickle that costs £2 in England. Robbers. So, apparently the EUS servers are now back, and you can enjoy your 20,000 person queue.
But can they play ranked? That's the question. Probably not. Who's your favourite football team in the UK, Joe?
Oh, the mighty Sheffield Wednesday, of course. Currently sitting in 3rd position in League One, which if you're not English, don't be fooled. It's not the top league. It's actually the 3rd league. But they changed those names just to make everyone who supports a crap team feel better about themselves.
I'm in the Coca-Cola League One. Hell yeah.
Which means, Sheffield Wednesday fan. Unfortunately for us, Sheffield United are actually in front of us, which is always never.
That's not what you want, is it? Yeah, it's the same for us. Everton are ahead of us at the moment. That shows how bad we're doing in the league.
Oh God, there's a Grimsby fan in chat.
Oh, can't we use my normal comment then? 2 fat lads from Grimsby fighting.
Yeah, so if you're wondering what you've just tuned into for this random few minutes of randomness, we have a pause, as you can see on your screens. We're just waiting for things to happen. There's Leeds fans in the chat as well. God. You get points because you're obviously Northern, but you lose them instantly when you support Grimsby or Leeds. So all it needs now is a Sheffield United fan to pop up in chat. And then the day is, in fact, complete. So yeah, I could probably have send a message here to someone on Skype.
Who's the most attractive female rioter? Well, that's a dangerous, loaded question. That's a
freak.
Honestly, there's not that many female rioters that come to the events.
Yeah, actually, there's 2 or 3 of them.
Who's the females? I can only think of Bridget that actually came to IEM.
Bridget.
Oh, Renoa came as well, didn't she?
Saul was at DreamHack, and
Nika Saul was at WCG 2010. It was Udison at season 1, I guess.
Opinions on Saint Vicious's girl tier list.
I've not seen I didn't get to see it, you know. The girl tier list, wasn't it banned out? I think it was banned out before I got to see it.
That's the height of sexism.
It is.
Making girl of the league tier list.
And you need to be careful because chances are there are probably rioters listening, like Garen or something. Actually, no, he'd have been up all night doing the IPL, so he probably won't be listening tonight, hopefully. Because these things get back and they are all on our Skype list, so suddenly we get interesting comments coming through. So, oh, really? So, no, we've got to keep quiet on that one.
Apparently, Sheffield Wednesday had an early kickoff today against Huddersfield, I know they were playing, and they won, which means we're now above the Pigs. Sheffield United for you guys out there. Well, that's good. That's interesting. They won 2-0. Impressive Owls march on.
Do you like pure plain water? Yes. It's got to be still water as well. None of that fizzy stuff. Oh, it's like the devil's brew. I don't know what's going on with that. They have that in Germany, don't they? Have that quite a lot.
I actually became more accustomed to it over the last couple of years.
Oh,
I'm not sure why.
That's wrong.
Not sure why. It tastes different.
It's wrong. It's horrible. It's physically horrible. Myself and my brother at an event the other day, we both needed water, so we went over and we both got we had the water and it was sparkling. We both looked at each other and went, what the it's like almost spat it out because just when you want, I just need a drink of water, I'm dying here, and then you have that and it's just like, oh god, that's horrible.
And the thing that I never experienced before, but we had it at Seabit, is water in a carton like milk. And
yeah.
I know it's just it was a mental thing that you know it's water, but it still tastes like milk because it's in a carton.
Someone's saying, why are there no gaming events with LOL in England? There is a gaming event. There's I-45. It's a £6,000 event starting in May the 5th, I believe it is, isn't it? Or somewhere around there.
Somewhere, I think it's that weekend, 4th till the...
And I believe, I don't know whether you are doing it yet. I know I'm definitely doing it.
I am not sure yet, to be honest. I was supposed to get an email, didn't get an email. I'm still waiting.
You didn't get an email? You didn't, Matt it didn't come back to you?
No.
That's good, isn't it?
Waiting on that one, so possibly I'll be
Hopefully there'll be some big teams there as well. I've heard a couple of team rumblings that some of the top teams will be going. I would expect Lowland Lions and Western Wolves will almost certainly be there. I would also expect, I've heard that Moscow 5 might be attending, so in which case we could see quite a few decent teams suddenly turning up, which will be very good to see. Anyway, we are live, Joe, looks like. The game hasn't been unpaused. There's a lot of German coming out, which I don't really know what's going on with that, so I'm just going to move it away.
One of them said that they might have to do a remake because his menu is bugged, but he just said it's okay. So it looks like we're game on for match number 1. Peculiar Gaming versus Gamed. This is the quarterfinal of the ESL Pro Series Germany. If you're just tuning in and wondering what the hell are these guys talking about, but we've managed to get through that pause by talking absolute rubbish, which you can expect a few more times today, I should imagine.
Yeah, get yourselves in chat because we're just answering questions from there.
Yeah, that's the best way when we've got that pause. But anyway, what have we got going on at the start of this one? Gamed setting up that defense around there. Blue Morgana sticking in middle. Nocturne off in the bush, and Graves just watching over on ramp. But it's Peculiar that are starting a bit of an invade up on that top side by the Golems. And we're going to see here if they're going to stick around. Are they going in for the red buff? Actually, Coral just getting himself over the top of a ward. So they know exactly that Peculiar Gaming are there. The question is, what comes next? And they're going to know that Tarek's actually pointing back. Can they see that, actually? Let's have a look. Yeah, he's just in vision. He was just in the vision of everyone. So they know that Tarek has actually gone away from that one. They are going to be stealing out the race. First of all, Morgana's actually hanging around, and she will get herself one of them as well, which is always a bit of a bonus once that invade's going on. Gamed will leave one Wraith behind. Morgana's actually going to finish off the last one that Attackman just brought out for him. So, little bits of invade going on. Actually, by the red buff, Shimmy just trying to cause some problems. This red buff has already been started off, pulled away by Blunatix, and I think Carianis is going to take this red buff for free. Yep, will smite it out, will get that. Glucosa over on the other side is taking the Peculiar red buff. So, after everything that's happened, these invades on both sides, pretty even start.
Yeah, very much even. Both countered each other. Carianis is going up towards the top there. Shimmy actually missing the Q there, and we'll just back away from that. And yeah, and they both had the ward in the exact same spot, so they both saw each other doing the exact same thing. So it was completely counterintuitive, but I guess when one does it, you have to counter it. Grulum, sorry, in the middle, getting pressured quite heavily by Attackman already there. And that is the problem. Morgana will be weak early on, and Urgot is incredibly strong from level 1 onwards, which is why you can see him just going straight in the face. Going to get that lock on and completely overhaul early on as much as you can, until Grulum does start getting those Doran's rings and start building himself up, that the pool will actually start taking down the minions without having to do anything about it. Top lane, as we said, was going to be Warwick versus Leigh Sin, and it's going to be an interestingly run thing. Warwick is pretty weak until around about level 6, and Leigh Sin is pretty strong early on, so Leigh Sin is going to try and impose his will across him a little bit here, but Bluntic seems to be surviving very well in and amongst all the minions, just about hanging on and farming up quite nicely. 14 CS to 6 CS, so you can see that Shyvana invade that they had early on the top there has hampered him, knocked him back by about 10 CS down the top there. Down the top doesn't make sense. Up the bottom, just to go the opposite direction, is 18 CS to 16 CS, Joe, and it's pretty even between these two. Pretty standard build across the board. There is a pink ward on Coral, though, hasn't used it yet, so I'm wondering whether he's going to try and plant it in that bush where Sebastian sat. At the moment you can see there's just a plain wild ward there at the moment. We do have Nocturne heading north as well.
Yeah, Nocturne is moving up there. Currently level 3, double buff is on, and they should be able to get in behind Warwick
as well.
He's already pretty strong. Gonna have a look up on. No, nothing going there. Up the bottom, top bottom. Blunatix actually, the fear will proc. He has got ignited on him as well. And is they going to be able to finish the inner swan off? And they won. No, they've not finished it off. And he's dead from the turret. And Blunatix, after all that, is going to get himself first blood. Glucosa started to work his way in, and what a turn of events. He needed literally one more hit there. I mean, he should have gone for it. That tower was going to kill him anyway, and he should have just got the first hit, got the first blood, and then died after. Yeah,
exactly. Very, very good play by Blunatix there. Realised the situation, spotted Leigh Sin was taking the damage from the tower, so immediately went for it. Down the bottom, you can see Sebastian getting caught by Tarek stun there, and immediately shattering on both of them as well. Tabuna a bit slow on reacting there, probably butchering the pronunciation of these names as well. Depending on the German, normally going with the old Spanish twang on them, but I guess they're going to get my German mouth on today. or something like that. So Corellius, meanwhile, is invading. You can see, I think, is that a new blue buff? No, it's a blue buff that's about to wear off, so it wasn't a full invade blue buff. So that's about to wear off. So he has just taken the wolves away and continues on his path. That was because he had a failed gank down the bottom lane. Let's have a look how things are levelling up then. So with the first blood, a great first blood by Blunetix there. He comes back with a Ninja Tabi and armor. So already going to be very strong against Leigh Sin. Leigh Sin's not going to be able to do a great deal of damage to him because he'll just lifesteal it all back. And it's going to cause a problem. Bottom lane have actually not gone back yet. Neither of them have. As I look around. Meanwhile, the mid lane, you can see Urgot's just been back to buy. He's got himself a double Doran's blade for that mid lane. Interesting setup for Urgot. So he prefers to go a bit of damage with the health rather than building up towards, say, a tier or something early on, maybe that you would expect from a mid lane possible Urgot. We do have Nocturne also rattling his way up there. Can Glucosa be a bit more successful with this one? It's going to have to be followed by Dark Binding, you'd think. Sort of starting it off. You can see that Gruelum's trying to bait him in there, and Glucosa is going to come in and just shields up that shot that Attackman puts on. I can never remember the name of it. Is it Terra Capacitator? No, it's Noxious Corrosive Charge, that's the one. Noxious Corrosive Charge. Put the poison down, basically.
Yeah, and we're seeing there actually down the bottom, Sebastian did go fairly low, but not quite having the damage as of yet, Peculiar, to finish things off. Obviously, Misfortune not yet being back to bite. Graves also being the whole time in the lane there, and we will see Entonsberg. Don't forget the number one ranked player on EU West currently. We'll see if that shows off here today. Carianis actually going in there. There is a ward on his position, so it's going to be spotted. Glucosa had just finished off with the Wraiths as well, and Attackman, I'll tell you what, he's been a bit of a terror in this mid lane for Gruelum. Gruelum's having some real troubles against him, actually getting this all sorted. Attackman, that's surely going to be a ward going down. Nope. Just having a bit of a nosy off into the bush there. Still, Carianis is sniffing around. Golem will be taken down there with Smite by Glucosa. Carianis is still there. He wants to have these Wraiths away. Not sure that's going to really happen for him, though. Attackman, obviously, with those double Doran's Blade, causing those problems in the middle. He's currently 56 CS to 46, so outfarming Morgana just that little bit. You've got to fear for Morgana. Obviously, once that pool hits its 4th rank, which actually it has now at level 7, and it's going to be wiping out those minion waves very, very quickly. And then Attackman will be left to have the minions on his turret, or you know, just tank them up after that. Looks like Blue is going to be going over to Attackman, and that will give him even more to work with in that middle lane. Gruelum is also going to be taking this blue buff, so both mid lane players are going to have blue up. And we'll see if that changes the balance of things again. Carianis having a look for the Wraiths. He has been spotted. That ward is still up. The question is, what can he steal away here? Actually, we'll leave 2 Wraiths behind because that red buff is there, and he's going to start it off. The question is, will he be able to finish it before they get in there? Attackman is going to put down the ward. Glucosa getting black shielded up. Attackman actually will take a little bit of damage here, but they need to be careful. Ulti from Carianis. Glucosa will flash away from that one, and that ulti not bringing anything for Peculiar as of yet.
Yeah, absolutely. So Blunetix has also come down as well. They're trying to steal away that red, and I think they've managed to get it. Carianis with that one. Trying to get the lock on. Gruelum, I think, stole the big Wraith, actually, with the Dark Bindings that he threw through. Attackman was trying to steal them, and managed to catch it. Very nice. Good little bit of play down the bottom as well earlier on. We saw Sebastian on Soraka had headed up just to put that ward in the river, and Carollo literally followed him all the way up there, forced him to go back around towards the tri-bush, which meant they immediately engaged onto Enswerger. But as you can see, Sebastian's topped up that health straight away, which is going to be the problem between these bottom lanes. It's a lot of sustain between them. They talked about the practice they have between them. I think it was a play-in, wasn't it, who plays for ESC, I believe it is, talked about how they practice. It's something that you often see at these events. Certainly when I watch Sit Behind Dignitas, they sit there, Voidboy and Scarra will just sit there on the top lane and just go top lanes against each other and just you know, they can play similar heroes, which is probably why they both do Akali and Talon and stuff like that. They quite happily practice against each other. It's a good little warm-up system to get their mechanics going when you're in an event, and it's probably what you'd expect to see a lot of these players doing while in the new studio at ESL. So looking very nice new studio as well. So how's it leveling out between these teams? You can see Nocturne sneaking his way in towards this bottom jungle, but there is a ward there, so they're going to be well aware that he is in there. And Shyvana has been back and got a Wriggles Lantern, so going to be placing a pink ward by the dragon, actually, I think. Yeah, there's actually started off the dragon. That's a bad timing. I'm not sure about that, you know. You can see Urgot's coming down. He's going to be passing that ward. He has got the blue. Tarek's gone up to help him out. And now Misfortune's heading his way up there. Nocturne was down the bottom here. Everybody's at full health. This is going to be a 4-on-4 engage. Has anyone got any teleports? They're not. They've stolen it away very quickly, though. And that was a good engage. Now they're going to actually dive in towards Glucosa. The ulti from Shyvana straight across. Caught them both out very nicely. Glucosa will go down. Koreanos might well follow. He flashes away, just about avoiding it. No, the Morgana proc will go off. Went off on towards Attackman as well. Now Tabuna might be in trouble as well. They may well get a couple of kills out of this one. They will. And Korolol managed to escape just about. But that was a 2-for-1 engage. But they did pick up Dragon, so I guess it works out even unless they get Korolol, who just about escapes it there. And the top lane continues to just beat on each other like two lads from Grimsby.
Yeah, and you know, Warwick, pretty wolf-like in Grimsby as well. So there we go. And I assume a fair few blind people after you know, beating each other up on a normal Saturday now out in lovely Grimsby. But yeah, there was some interesting action around that dragon. Obviously, it leaves us with a 2-2 scoreline. We did see Peculiar taking Dragon, but after that didn't go all that particularly brilliant for them. And the kills, where have they gone? They've gone one for Morgana, one for Soraka, which is never awesome, but still, it is what it is. Shyvana 1-1-0, Misfortune 1 death, 1 assist, and obviously Warwick from earlier, that 1 kill, has now finished his wit's end. So Leigh can have a few more issues with him up there. Well, down at bottom we have got Tabuno back into lane, gone with Pickaxe, Berserker Greaves, Double Doran's Blade, compared to Graves, who's Double Doran's Blade plus a Berserker Greaves and a Zeal at this point. Got also having to, choosing to pick up Brutalizer, pretty standard stuff there for the Urgot player. Also, Needlessly Large Rod is now has now been bought for Morgana. Struggling to get my words out today. Hopefully that improves a little bit later on. We are going to see the diving onto Sebastian. He's got the Ignite burning on him, but it's not quite going to be enough. But that was real quick damage coming out there from Tabuno.
And the mid-river.
Very scary thing. We could actually see Shimmy being caught out here if he's not careful. And he is going to dive straight over onto Gruulum. That will save him. And Attackman and Koreanos not quite able to get there in time to make that one count.
Yeah, great vision of Sebastian there. They knew they could try and they had to burst it down. He had that Oracle. It's a very early Oracle on the support player of Sebastian. Normally we've been sort of got so used to seeing it on the junglers lately. It's feels a little odd to see it on the support again. But yeah, he went for that early Oracle, so he's got to be very, very careful on Soraka. Blue buff now being given across to Gruulum and the same to Attackman, so both mid laners will pick that up perfectly on time. Lunatic's just backing away, pushed onto Shimmy. It looks like it's going to be a red invade here. Yes, it will do. And you can see that Urgot's actually purposely trying to bully him away from that area to stop him going up towards that jungle. He realised that Glucosa is there. Leigh did see them head down south, so it was pretty obvious that they're going to pick up that red straight very quickly. Now they need to get around and possibly Leigh, what is he doing up the lane? He knew they were there. He knew they'd gone for it. Surely he could just both go in for it. No. He has ulti kicked away on Lunatics there. And he's just going to be safe for a little bit longer. I'm not too sure how long though. Lunatics is surely going to try and take a couple of chunks out of him while he's got that red buff on.
Yeah, I think so as well. He's going to use this red buff to do as much damage as he can, try and force Leigh away. The CS up there, 83 to 108. So you can see that Warwick winning out that lane quite nicely. Let's see if that continues. Farming up brilliantly is Lunatics. Meanwhile, we do have Urgot moving in towards that jungle area. They know that he's there. The ward spotted them. That could be a dangerous position for Attackman. Actually, Glucose is coming in. I'm not sure that's the best decision ever. Spell Shield will come out. Now they're going to focus in on Carrianas. Ulti coming up here from Morgana. Ulti used by Shyvana to get away. Gruulum is burning as well. But they're going to focus in. Dark Binding catches onto Carrianas. But Attackman will finish off the kill. And that was just unfortunate for Nocturne in there. He knew that Attackman had gone up, but he wasn't expecting quite that Shyvana was going to be coming in. Gruulum coming very, very low. They're locked on. And a couple of bars of health to go. And I totally missed that one up at top. Sorry for that, guys. That's what we were talking about earlier with that red buff on for Warwick to get himself the kill. And that will leave Peculiar 4-2 in the advantage.
Yeah, completely missed that one as well. I was watching these two in the mid, and you can see the aggression that Attackman's pulling down the bottom there. They've also managed to catch the stun on towards Enswork there. You can see the shatter coming out from Korololik as well, followed by Tabuna doing a combo on him. But Attackman, yeah, being very, very aggressive on that Urgot, and has got that Brutalizer completed, so it's only natural that he will go for it. The question is, has Gruulum reacted to it? He hasn't gone for any armor early on. I would suspect that will be turning into a Zhonya's Hourglass straight away, though. The needlessly large rod he's got there, so we'll be picking up the armor that you build that one on. Let's have a look around. I completely missed that top one. We did mention that, like you say, that the red buff was on him, so it was only natural he was going to go for it, but he ended up tower diving on towards Shimmy. So if Warwick's now with the advantage that he can tower dive Leigh Sin, that means Leigh Sin is in a lot of trouble up that top lane. 123 CS Glacial Shroud now completed, along with our Wit's End against Leigh Sin's 89. So you can see he's got a 30 CS lead over him, which is immediately going to give him that build advantage 2-0 against the 0-2. So very much top lane for Peculiar Gaming. Mid lane, I'm not too sure, you know, yet. Zhonya's Hourglass has just been completed. There it is on Gruulum. Attackman has just come back as well. He's built himself that Glacial Shroud up to go with the Brutalizer he had earlier. There's a ping on down. Glucosa is just around there. Bearing in mind, Dragon has just spawned, which is why they're looking for it. And it's looking like it's going to be a full-on team fight here, Joe. They're building up for it.
Yeah, certainly building up for it. Glucosa just trying to force Peculiar away. And they're coming in split here, Peculiar. Warwick coming in from the top side. Excuse me. And we are going to see Blundertix go straight in there. We are going to see the ulti coming out. Knocked back, actually, but Morgana ultimate is going to go across pretty much the entire team until they were knocked away. Carrianas is trying to escape, very low HP. We do see Glucosa go down. Blundertix will die. There goes Tariq as well, and this is looking good for game. The Attackman is altoing all kinds of trouble. Spell Shield will just charge up there onto Shimmy, and he will survive long enough to get the kill. In comes Miss Fortune, will take down Graves, and it looks like Peculiar are going to get away here with two. Gruulum's going to go for that Dark Binding over into the Tribush, and nope, decides against it, which was a good decision because it actually gone the other way anyway. And they are going to try now to have this Dragon between them. I think that's still very, very dangerous. There's a ward in there in the corner. Tabuna and Carrianas are still a little bit too low. Tabuna is still hanging around, but they will eventually be headed home from this one, and it's still a 2-kill advantage for Peculiar Gaming.
Yeah, they need to all get back very quickly because that fight's going to just go straight back to it. They all need to return straight away, and you can see them all heading straight back to that Dragon. Nobody managed to get it. It would have been suicidal if they'd have gone for it, like you say. Definitely was the right choice to back off. So quickly they've all backed off, all bought, all got the mana back, and they're all headed straight back to that Dragon. Corolol is the first one there, and he's thinking, yeah, probably not the ideal situation. Oh, but Peculiar are coming in from different angles. They will get there first, though, but they don't have any vision of that ward, so they can't clear it out. They've started the Dragon. I'm not convinced that's a good thing to do. The 5-man team have gained are in position. Surely, though, Gruulum is going to come in. He hasn't not got his ulti up ready yet. It will be up now. The ulti is just about available. We'll go straight in and pop it off. Surely, oh, he switched him into place, and he's Zhonya'd Hourglass with that ulti. That was terrible. Urgot just couldn't have timed that any worse. He wouldn't have known it, I don't think. But they do manage to pick up 2 kills out of it. Can they turn it around, though? Gruulum now going to get picked off. He will go down. No, he's just flashed through and escaped. Soraka heal as well. Urgot does manage to pick up the kill. Go down to Graves, though. Sorry, now Graves is surely going to die. No, he's just about dashed away from Blundertix. It's only a matter of time, though. Now that, oh, they're going to surely catch out Corolla there. Can they catch the Dark Binding? They will do. Corolla tries to heal himself up. No, it flashes out of the pool just about in time. 37 health. And these guys, they all need to back off again and go again for another round. Seconds out, round 3, Joe.
Absolutely intense stuff, and know, that clutch flash from Trollololol, as I'm sure he's laughing right now after flashing out of that pool. It was literally one more tick and he was going to die. Great play. And, you know, after such a big fight, you just don't expect that flash is actually going to be still up for him to use. Tabuna, meanwhile, is pushing down his bottom lane. Sebastian is there, though, with the bananas coming out, trying to clear off this wave, and that tower will be safe for now. So, 10-7. After all that, Dragon obviously was picked up in the mix as well, which leaves them 27k to 24. So, 3k gold advantage for Peculiar. And Gamed having a tough time of things, and as you mentioned, that switch from Urgot couldn't really have been any worse timed, but you know, it's always a hard one to call. Is he going to ulti literally on that second? Glucosa needs to be careful here. He's going to get caught out. Ulti from Warwick, that is a dead surely Glucosa. Yet Shimmy's coming as well, will kick Attackman away, but are they going to dive in onto Shimmy? Looks possibly like it. Lunatics will just steal that health back. I think Shimmy should get out of there now. He's going to be switched off by Urgot. Carianis is coming in as well. This is a 3-man dive. Surely you're dead. Shimmy, nice clutch flash over the top. He does have that shield up, but is it going to be enough? Warwick is going to have that attack speed from his E to catch up with this one. There goes the Q, and oh, clutch heal again from Soraka. Shimmy moving away. Dark Binding comes in, and he is going to literally Lee Sin fashion just walk away from that one. Dash away, even use his flash to get out of it. They are going to take a top turret, though, are Peculiar from that. But some great action-packed action.
Nice sentence, Joe.
Yes, brilliant sentence. Great commanding use of the English language.
You're from the north, it's allowed. Ooh! Glucosa's returned to the top lane and he's just going to farm up. So let's have a look at the item builds. They've had a pretty crazy last 5 minutes, and you wouldn't be upset if the wards have gone out of place, but they've still got good ward placement, you know, across the map. So they've managed to get back out there. Those support's doing a fantastic job. Sebastian, you can see going around at the moment, did lose that Oracle in one of the exchanges. I didn't see which one it was, so that will hurt them. Wards up the Wraiths there, the standard positions really, if anything. Let's have a look. You can see that Infinity Edge nearly completed by Graves, 175 CS now to 168 of also an Infinity Edge nearly completed by Misfortune, but that bottom tower has gone, which is the telling sign that generally you've won that lane. So Enswerg continuing on his dominance down the bottom here. 225 for Enswerg. He's got Soraka with him, who has lost that Oracle at one point. It was a very early Oracle as well, which will have hampered him, I think, a little bit. So more of the Malicious has been completed by Lee Sin. It's not Malicious, Malmortius, isn't it? That's the one I want. Infinity Edge there has just been completed, and the Zeal as well by Graves. So Graves is very strong now. In fact, he may well be quite a bit ahead. Oh no, there's 2,100 gold on Misfortune, so expect him to be finishing and probably picking up the Zeal at the same time. Well, you got the Frozen Heart on Urgot as well, so that's going to make him very strong. Zhonya's was completed a while back. Just seeing where that goes, and it's Grulum they've dived onto here. Grulum will have his ulti to use in a moment. He's going to walk straight in. Look at the damage going straight down on Shimmy, but Grulum using his Zhonya's Hourglass at a perfect time there. Flashes away as well, catches Blunatics in a Dark Bindings. Dark Bindings might well finish him off. You can see Enswerg coming around the side. Enswerg will go down to Carianis. Carianis meanwhile dives on towards Shimmy. Shimmy's just going to back away from this one and shimmy away. Hell yeah, I had to get that in there. Meanwhile, Grulum is still very low. You can see he's got the Warwick scent on him, the blood scent, so they will know exactly where he's going. Shimmy goes straight in, but I'm not too sure they got enough to dive on the tower yet. It hasn't. Glucosa comes around the side. He's going to try and pick up the Wraith to try and get a bit of farm back, but a straight 1-for-1 exchange. Attackman for Enswerg. I think that Pentagram I nearly called him there. That's the Polish team for PG. That's why I'm so used to that one. Peculiar Gaming will come out better on that one. They did lose Attackman, but taking down the AD carry and a tower much stronger, especially when they did try to engage. But, you know, they did the switch, I think, on Grulum again there it was. And yeah, that's the last person you want to pull in between all your team.
Yeah, they switched him right into the middle of the pack once again. And the thing is, they focused on him, and then he said, trollolols on his Hourglass, not going to kill me for a while. And then after that, I think the focusing, well, lost its focus, to be quite honest with you, with that one. It's not the best fight. for Peculiar, again, that they could have pulled off. I think Attackman is going to be told swiftly by the rest of his team, stop switching Morgana into the middle of the pack. But, you know, they managed to take down Entrancevurg, who's had his good share of farm down the bottom. He's currently around about 10 CS ahead. Obviously, they've taken that bottom turret down. Infinity had finished. Zeal is now finished as well over actually Misfortune's pretty much identical build. The only difference is the, yeah, well, now he's just finished his Zeal. So, not that much. And Dragon is now up. And Peculiar have started off. You can see the games are sniffing around. Dragon will go to Peculiar, but they're going to dive in there. They're attacking Lunatic, which for me is not the best target they could have gone for. Zhonya's is going to go off there in the mix of it as well. Ulti didn't do that much damage from game. Lunatic's going very, very low. Sorry, there was the Zhonya's. It wasn't popped before. Morgana is going to go down. Shimmy now in a lot of trouble. The shield will come up. Is it going to be enough to save him? I'm not sure, because the stun surely will come out. He dives backwards towards the pack, trying to fool them. Not going to come out on top of that one. And it is a 4-for-2. Entrancevurg also escaped with about a fifth of his health remaining. And that, Peculiar, is what they meant to do the last couple of times. I
have no idea who picked the Dragon up either. I completely missed it. But Misfortune managed to catch the ulti across the entire team. Very good positioning this time by Tabuna. And they sort of, for some reason, they all piled in towards Blunetix, whether it's because he was sat on the Dragon. They all wanted to get onto that Dragon, but they all piled into him. And Misfortune just sat at the back of the pit, just said, oh, that's all right then. You're all nicely in position. I'll just ulti the lot of you. So quickly, damage went across everyone there. So Tabuna really did well on that one. 5-1-6 now is Tabuna, and that's sort of showing that Infinity Edge. That's going to be the tower picked up. Oh, it's been left by Carol. I'm not too sure his support kind of just abandoned him there by the tower. He's just like, I'm off. I've got an Oracle. You'll be fine. And then Entrancevurg thought, well, you know what? I could maybe pick up a cheeky kill here, but it wasn't going to happen. Grulum continues his farming mission. How's he coming out on this one? He hasn't really been able to pick anything up from the last couple of engages. You can see he's got 1,500 on him. You think he must be going for a Rabadon's Death Cap to follow on. He is just about shy of 1,600 gold, so he's probably going to both complete or at least pick up the rod for it. Meanwhile, you can see Zeke's Herald's actually been picked up, or aka Starks, which everybody knows it as, has been completed by Taric. So Taric really being the ultimate support there, picking that up, getting his cooldowns down. And meanwhile, well, you can see Spirit Visage has been built, along with that Frozen Heart being complete. 5-2-7 for Warwick. That's a really nice score for a Warwick in that top lane. We did mention that once he tower dived, we knew it was going to be winning out, and it seems to be the difference at the moment. So you look at 3-4-5 for Lee Sin. Shimmy's not really quite able to get in their faces like you'd kind of hope Lee Sin would do on the AD carries.
Yeah, that's something that he's, you know, from the lane phase struggled with actually. After he was dove, there was a 3-man gank on him up at the top there, which wait, was it? No, it wasn't the 3-man that he escaped from. He escaped from a different. Oh, was it the 3-man? Whatever. That's not the point anyway. Up until this point, but he's definitely not quite been able to have the impact that they would have hoped for. Actually, that will land there, and Attackman doing a bit of damage to Sebastian. RPG going to get in there, not quite. Ward does go down. Blunetix will fancy his chances here of getting the ulti off. Not quite in range onto Sebastian. Glucosa also from that backside does have the red buff on. Will just hang back, and PG are going to set themselves off again over towards that Baron pit. Are they going to start it? There are no wards in there. Q will land from Lee Sin onto Blunetix, and that may just be enough to scare Peculiar away from that. Shimmy needs to be careful, because Blunetix will dive onto the first one that he gets a chance of having. Clairvoyance does go down to give him that extra bit of range. In comes the dart binding, which did land onto Attackman. Blunetix walking alone there again, and more of a case of just making his presence felt there, I think, and forcing a game team to back away. They have moved away from that position a little bit more. There is a ward in the back of Baron Pit. There's another ward which will reveal all 5 of them. Taken down by Tabuno, and just jockeying for position here now are Peculiar as they wait for that opportunity to start off the Baron.
Yeah, and they know they've got the stronger team fight as well at the moment. They've won the last sort of 2 exchanges pretty comfortably, so they know they're in a position, but they're not in a position to do that and fight Baron at the same time. They're going to spot that ward at the back. That's going to get taken down. Will they peel off? They've taken it to half health already. This is a very quick Baron, actually. They might be able to take this down before they get in. I think they might do. The smite will come out. They have taken it down quickly. Grulum goes in, but I think he's too late. Has to pop Zonya's Hourglass straight away. Morgana ulti does manage to ping off the entire team. Glucosa surely going to go down. Inswerger does get Misfortune very quickly. Morgana finally drops. Glucosa just about hanging on. Now he goes down. Enswerg is doing a lot of damage though in this cover. Now he suddenly gets switched out there, and you can see that Shyvana flashes on with that ulti. Will get taken down by Attackman, and it's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange. Very nicely played there by Peculiar Gaming, sorry. And well, Gamed now in all sorts of trouble. It was a case of they didn't get round quick enough, and they also came round in that split. It's never good to come round in a pincer move on the Baron pit like that. It never works out, and the fact they just didn't quite judge the timing right. They weren't quite sure how quickly they were going to take it down, but of course Warwick was just going to rip that thing apart along with the AD carry of Misfortune. So very nice play from Peculiar there to pick the Baron out. Really, they just completely miscalculated that.
Yeah, they did, and as you mentioned, the pincer movement really worked against them there because Sebastian was top side of Baron, and when they actually tried to escape them, they didn't have Soraka anywhere near them. He was top side, the rest of them were bottom side, they were missing the heal. Sebastian obviously walks away, but 4 of his teammates, you know, the important 4 actually, as we get towards this late game, all were killed, and that leaves them 20-11 up, almost 50k gold to 37. Wow, it's 10k as it is right now. And it's not looking good for Game here in match number 1. Obviously, this is a best of 3, so the loser of this game will still have a chance to come back in this series. But it's never a position you want to be in, a best of 3, going 1-0 down. And this blue buff is going to be picked up here finally in a second. There we go, by Grulum. And Dragon is available. There is a ward there. I'm not sure that Game should be anywhere near this Dragon. I think they're just going to end up giving things up. Going to pull the Dragon out of its pit there. And it'll be finished off far too quickly for Game to even think about coming in there. Attackman now finished Guardian Angel as well, if he wasn't already annoying enough. Shyvana also has got that Wit's End there. Obviously, Fade plus the Giant's Belt as well. So Frozen Mallet well on its way to being completed. Actually, yeah, 280 gold, so went back there earlier. And obviously this middle inhibitor is down. Grulum's all sorts of out of position. Nice dart binding will land onto Lunatic. Are they going to be able to catch up though? Smoke screen does go down from Graves, and that will stop Peculiar pushing right in there. Problem is, they're going to head straight up onto this top lane right now. Turret is round about half HP. They can certainly tank it if they want to. Minions all taken out. Carrionis, I think, thought about tanking it and then decided against it. Games are coming out of their base, but I think they'll end up just giving this one away. Grulum is going to get the pull down. It certainly won't be enough to stop them coming. Lunatic's has been a bit of a magnet for these dark bindings. And are they going to dive in here for the kill when they get in near that turret? Attackman going to be leading the charge as they start to work this turret down in Game. Kind of there, kind of not again. Dark Binding lands in onto Lunatic, but this inhibitor is going to go down in Game. No, they're up against a team with a big advantage with Baron buff on. There's quite simply not a lot they can do, and we are just seeing Peculiar now going down onto the bottom lane, tutorial style. I'm going to be trying to finish off everything as the game's supposed to. They're going to dive in onto Sebastian though, and that's an easy kill. Actually, the double flash over the top there, that's going to leave him a little bit isolated, but it won't be too bad. Ulti from Misfortune was pretty much out of it, but still, they managed to get that first kill onto Sebastian, which is what they were aiming for. And that's going to free up this bottom turret for free. Easy takedown. Will they be able to push through and have the third and final inhibitor that's left standing? Not sure. Grulum just trying to catch one of them there in Dark Binding. Surely they're going to dive into this one. Yes, they will. Grulum will pop his ulti. Zonya's is going to go off as well, and he's managed to catch 3 of them with that ultimate. Carrionis will get Dark Binding. Turret hit him as well, but Glucosa's surely going to go down. They can't quite finish him off there. Entonsberg is still very healthy as well. There's another Dark Binding onto Attackman. Decides not to follow it up. He's got that Guardian Angel on, let's not forget. And Peculiar are forced to back away. They've done a lot of damage on this turret though, and they're surely going to come back for another go soon.
Yeah, he couldn't follow it up actually because Lunatic's ulted straight onto Grulum, and then Lee Sin ulti kicked him away as soon as he got on there. But yeah, saving Attackman's I would say life, but like you mentioned, he had that Guardian Angel, so it wouldn't have been a great deal. But a very good catch on Carianos there by Morgana. Obviously, the ulti ping went off, and then he caught him with that Dark Binding, so the tower did all the damage. So just about keeping them in it for that extra little bit. I'm not too sure whether it's going to really turn things around. They are 11k behind in gold, but we did see a big throw yesterday, Dignitas versus Mono Esports, and that was down to the team build. I'm not too sure. Well, I liked Game's team build early on, but they don't seem to be using it to their advantage, and they've just, I think they may well have just felt a little bit too far behind. They were against the Baroned up team there. We've got a Randian's Omen now completed by Tarek as well. So Tarek is a crazy support at the moment. It's obviously going to be doing that, slowing them down as well. So Coralol doing an interesting build for a Tarek here, going for the full support role. What can he pick up next?
He's got a better score than Shyvana.
Yeah, 2-1-5. Yeah, certainly doing a fantastic job at the moment. Shyvana on 2-4-11. Definitely been caught out a few times in that jungle, but they're hoping to try and bait them in here. Baron's not due for another minute, I don't believe. I don't have my timers, but generally it's a 6-minute buff, I believe it is. 6 minute, 4 minute, 4 minute buff, 6 minute spawn. I can't remember. Get me maths right.
7 minute spawn.
7 minute spawn. And we just
went
into them.
4 minute buff. Yeah.
We need to see if they're really going to do anything. What have they built? Let's have a quick look at what they've built. You can see Misfortune, who's got pretty much the ideal build there. You can see Infinity Edge, Last Whisper, Phantom Dancer hasn't got the Bloodthirster, which should probably be following on next. Meanwhile, you know, Enswerg is actually built very good. He's got the Quicksilver Sash in there, the Phantom Dancer and the Infinity Edge, but he is just lacking that, I say lacking damage as much as you can be lacking with an Infinity Edge, but lacking the damage that Misfortune's got now at least. So they are going to go straight towards that open inhibitor. Are they going to be able to contest it? You can see the Dark Bindings does land, but they do get caught out. Swap out tries to come out, it actually got cancelled off there. Instead they're going to dive in. Will Morgana go for the ulti? Misfortune ulti missing just about. Now Grulam is going to go in, but didn't quite get the Sonya's Hourglass and got popped instantly there. Straight away taken down, and that is definitely going to be a peculiar game in picking up the win. Enswerg's going to try and get up towards the fountain. You can see Sebastian as well. Enswerg was stunned out there by a dazzle from Coralol, but they are going to take down the Nexus turrets, and it will be GG for Peculiar in the first match here, Joe. And honestly, they just played it out very well, but a very entertaining game for the first one here. Some great fights around the Dragon early on, which really sort of set the pace.
Yeah, really, really awesome game. I was expecting somewhat of a slow one for game number one, as both teams, you know, kind of felt each other out and got used to playing in the studio there. All right, they've not got a massive audience, but an audience nonetheless, and you know, they're not in the comfort of their own chair, so to speak, with the right desk height, which is, you know, always the important question that Carney asked before the game. How does the desk height affect your game? But yeah, let's have a quick look here at the post-game screen. Coralol 2-1-18, brilliant support play there on Tarek. 6-2-12 on Misfortune. Shyvana 2-5-14. Attackman on Urgot 6-3-12. Blunatics on Warwick 8-2-12. And for me, that Warwick made a massive difference early on. Deman, he was, you know, from that first point where, you know, we actually missed the kill, but where he dove Lee Sin under the turret. That's when Lee Sin must have been thinking, wow, this is not going to go well anymore. For game, Grulam on Morgana 4-3-9, Glucosa on Nocturne 0-8-10, not his best game ever. Enswerg on Grays 5-4-8, Sebastian on Soraka 1-3-10, and Shimmy on Lee Sin 3-6-8. So that's game number one out of the way. We're going to be taking a quick break here. I'm going to bring up the stream from the other studio, see what's going on over there, and we shall be back in just a moment with Game 2. So don't go anywhere, guys. This is the ESL Pro Series quarter-final matches. We'll be back soon with match number 2 between Gamed and Peculiar.